Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all good. Last week you would have seen on my channel I did a huge unboxing from Goldline Artistry. I'll link the video here if you did not see it. Surya sent me so many molds and today we are starting with the coasters. So I will be continuing on with the gold, the brown and the teal theme because I am still totally in love with the results that you get from these colours. If you haven't seen recent videos, please go check them out using these colour schemes. First thing I'm going to do is brush the moulds using a makeup brush. I don't wear makeup, I use my brushes for mica dusting. I have sped this one up for you. So the first two coasters I'm doing, they are the square and the oval shape that have these gorgeous lines in them. I don't really know the words to describe, but yeah, they have these details in them that I absolutely love. So I'm going to brush them both with blue mica on the outside, but then coming towards the center of the molds, I'm using the gold mica powder. And I pretty much do this on both of these coasters. I really just want to see what they'll look like, what the effects will be. I'm still going for the browns, but I'm so head over heels for the teal and the gold right now. So I've done both of them. What I'm going to do now is take off the top layer of mica powder. What I want is, after I pour the brown resin, I want the brown to be seen at the bottom of the coasters. At the moment, they are covered in mica powder. So the plan is to get that mica powder off. Now, luckily for me, this mica powder is quality, so it comes off so nicely with tape. I have had mica powder from a cheaper, I can't even remember. I think it was an eBay shop. I could not get that off even with dish soap. So yeah, luckily for me, it comes off really nicely. I'm just rubbing the tape all over the top of the coaster and it is bringing that mica powder off like a dream, and I'm loving it. Again, you can do this anyway. You can use wet wipes or you can use alcohol with cotton buds, whichever way works best for you. This way for me, it's quicker, it's neater, it's cleaner, there's no wet spillages getting anywhere. So for me, this is the best method for me, but please use whichever method works best for you. Here we are. I am not going to say here we are again because I said that about 1,000 times in one of my recent videos. So there you have it. There you go, it's better. The one on the left is done, it's clean. The one on the right, I have to do this all now using the tape, and there you go. Like magic, it is totally clean. I went over the whole top and in that bottom area with the tape to get rid of that. To fill them up, I am going with brown. I'm loving this combination so much. I was actually toying with the idea of using some Jesmonite in those bottom sections, but I kind of just decided against it. I've never used these kinds of molds with deep ingrained patterns like this, so I didn't quite know the best way to tackle it. I thought maybe picking them up and manipulating them a little bit, getting that resin to flow nicely into the channels would be a good way to start. But truth be told, I don't think I really needed to do that. I think the resin pretty much worked its own way around all of those nooks and crannies. I was worried about creating air pockets in those lines. I want my lines to be really crisp, but luckily there were none. There were none. I don't know what's happening to Claire's Crafty Corner lately, but we are reducing the air pockets. Stop press, it's front page news. So I am just filling them both up at this point. I knew that I wanted that brown to show through, which is why I used the tape to take the bottom off. You may notice I have made up a lot of resin. This was not fully intentional, mainly because I didn't quite know how much these coasters were going to take. Yes, there are systems in place to measure, work out how much. I generally don't do that. I generally just go with the flow. If I'm honest, I just go with the flow. And if I've got leftovers, as you see here, they're just going into another mold. So here is the stunning, I think this is probably my favourite mold out of the whole lot that Surya sent me. This is the Moroccan style, oh my gosh, lantern coaster. Love it. At this point, I was nervous. My resin that I'm using is Vista Turbo. It's a fast curing resin. This stuff sets rock hard between 3 to 5 hours depending on the depth of your mold. And it was getting hot. It was getting so hot in that cup. I decided I'm not going to do anything fancy with these at this point. I'm just going to rub them all over with mica powder, make sure I get down into all of the nooks and crannies, and then I'm just going to go ahead and fill up the mold, which is pretty much what I did. This one, again, I was worried about those nooks and crannies, but the resin just seemed to navigate its way through and I really had no issues. I did pick it up and give it a shimmy and a squeeze and a squish, hoping I could help that resin go through the channels, but again, I don't think I needed to do that. I really don't think I needed to do that. It seemed to be working its way through the channels quite happily, but yeah, at this point I'm loving it. It looks like honeycomb from the outside, and lo and behold, I still have resin left, so I went on to do the other coaster. So Surya sent me 2 of these Moroccan style lantern coasters, so I figured I would do the other one with like a almost like a mottled slapdash, no real thought put into where I put the gold. I wanted to just dust it but not completely cover the mold, and I figured if I leave it like this we might get some gorgeous almost rustic antique looking brown and gold effect. That is where my mindset was going. So now you just see me filling up the mold. I did end up going through and trying to help this resin because the resin was getting thicker at this point, but also I did pile the mica powder on, so I was worried that the resin wouldn't work its way through the mica powder and I'd be left with holes. But again, there were none, so I don't know what's happened. Who is Claire? Where is she? And what have I done with her, basically? I did tap them. I tapped them as though I would as if I was using the Jesmonite. I figured it wouldn't do any harm. I didn't think it would do any harm. I mean, it didn't. It didn't. This is voiceover Claire. I already know it didn't. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it might help the resin settle into all of those little channels and the nooks and crannies, and I still had resin left, guys, so off camera I do actually go and fill up another mold. I dusted it with gold only. This was the Art Deco Art Nouveau. You'll have to tell me in the comments, is it Art Deco or Art Nouveau? And you can see that mold bottom right of your screen. That is the one I did off camera because honestly I had to work fast at this point. The resin was getting thick. So this is 24 hours later. Even though it was a fast cure, I did leave it. And oh my goodness, check this out. I love it. So you can see the base of the mold is brown. The base of the coaster behind the blue and the gold is brown. That is because I used the tape to take the mica powder away, and that is the effect I was going for, hoping it would work. Now my initial thoughts were I could have done some patterning in the mica powder brown, in that kind of plain brown. If you leave your resin to thicken up to kind of semi-cure but not cure, if you leave it to thicken up, then you can get a silicone tool in there, do some swirls, do some gorgeous fancy patterning. I didn't do that because I just didn't think about it at the time, but looking at them now I think they would definitely have benefited from some patterning in there. They still remind me of leather, but this one, oh my gosh, I was so excited for this one. Again, I forgot on demold that I hadn't taken any of the powder off, so all we have is a plain blue coaster. I say all we have, but I still think it is absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. And here is the mottled stroke antique looking one where I just didn't fill the mold completely with gold mica. I just kind of blotched it on, and I didn't get as much brown showing through as I was hoping, but mica powder, even with the thinnest, almost invisible layer, will cover. It will cover. This one, oh my gosh, stop it. This one is almost up there with my favorites. Along with the Moroccan style, this one is up there. I'm not even like an Art Deco fan. I wouldn't say for a second I would buy anything Art Deco, but there is something about this coaster that is calling me. It is talking to me. The next plan for me is to bring this coaster up a little bit. Give it a little bit more zhuzh. I am using my gold Deco Colour pen. I know a lot of you say that you found them on Amazon. I have since found them on Amazon. The only place I can't find them is on my Amazon affiliate storefront. So I can't link them for you guys, but they are available on normal standard Amazon. So here we are. I'm just, oh, I said it again. I'm just going over with the gold pen, and already it is looking like a completely different coaster. Loving it. I'm just loving it. I don't know what it is. It's so pleasing to the eye. I do end up going around all of the edges as well, just to give them, again, that extra bit of oomph, and it definitely brings them to life. But I'll be honest, like, hand on heart, even as a plain teal coaster, I thought it was the prettiest thing I've ever seen. So the fact that I've added the gold has just elevated it next level beautiful. As for these two, because I was in a hurry, because the resin was really getting hot, I wanted to pour real quick. I could have just poured it straight into the moulds and worked on them afterwards, but I decided to dust them first with gold. That left me with two semi-plain gold coasters. They are beautiful in their own right, but I'm using this squeezy bottle to pour some epoxy resin down into those gaps. Now, the reason I'm using a squeezy bottle is because it's going to give me so much more control than it would if I was just using a cup. The cups drip, you get drips everywhere, and I really wanted control. So I have mixed up some of that teal mica into the resin, and oh my goodness, the squeezy bottle worked a dream. To clean this afterwards, I'm going to wipe that nozzle with a wet wipe and a cocktail stick to thoroughly clean it, and I'm going to leave the bottle sitting upside down so that any resin drips out, and then hopefully I can crunch the rest out. Just in case you're wondering how I'm going to clean this bottle, that's my plan. Guys, look at this. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. I was smiling from ear to ear. I've pretty much got rid of all the brown. It's almost like the brown never existed, but you can still see a mottled kind of effect. So I didn't know how much resin I really had. I never really do. This is just one of my bad traits. So I figured I'd pour some into each cavity and see what I've got left. And then I realized I've got more than I thought I did. I ended up filling this one to the very top, and I absolutely love the results. I love the results. Let me know what you're thinking so far in this video, if you are still here, because it's a long one. We're nearly 14 minutes in. Yeah, these coasters actually bring me joy. The detail in them, the lines, the channels, this one here, so decorative. I'm definitely a fan, and yeah, I figured this was the best way to kind of make something different, you know, so that it's not got a lot of those empty detailed channels. So I'd bring it up so that it's all flat. This one here, I left it so that the resin was not filled to the top, whereas this one I filled it right up, and I am obsessed with it. Let me know what you think and which one is your favorite. This one here, because you know I had some resin left. How many times have I said that in this video? I decided to fill just a few, not all. I wanted to kind of do some kind of pattern. I ended up not really going down a pattern route. More so I just did some at the top, some at the bottom, and then some through the center. Just again to add a little bit more interest, something different to look at that will stand out from the other two coasters behind it that you see. Yeah, so I just wanted all three to be a little bit different in their own way. I will just speed this last little bit up for you just to show you that, yeah, I know that we don't all really want to sit through this on real time because it actually was quite time consuming, but really fun. I found these really fun to fill. I don't know, it kind of just takes you away. Like your mind is just in another place. So I really enjoyed it. This was a giant pause. This was me staring at it thinking, right, where can I go now? Where can I go now? Do I want 3 in the gap? Do I want just 2 between that one and that one? So yeah, I was putting some thought into it, but then equally I didn't want to go overboard and I knew that it was time to stop. So this is pretty much where I left it, and that's it. Here they are, all together, all finished. I have to say I'm obsessed. I know you hear that a lot. I know I say it a lot, but that's because I get obsessed a lot. I get obsessed with new things and things I have never tried before, and oh my gosh. I think the blues, the browns and the golds are really bringing out the Moroccan. Now listen, I've never been to Morocco, so I'm not pretending, but the gold, I think it's the gold that gives them a richness, and that Art Deco Nouveau, whichever one it is, let me know in the comments. Yeah, obsessed. Now funnily enough, the semicircular arch one and the square one, they're the ones that I asked Saria for in the first place, and luckily for me she sent me so much more than I asked for, and I am so grateful. I feel like these Moroccan lantern style coasters would look stunning with multicolored resin, like stained glass. I had a lantern very similar to those when I was much younger. Sadly it broke, but my friend did bring it back from Marrakesh, and it was absolutely stunning, the most stunning lantern I'd ever seen. Multicolored glass window panes in it, miniature, but yeah, I think they would look really beautiful. This Art Deco stroke Nouveau I think would look gorgeous in black, white or black and silver. Oh my gosh, black and silver, yes, I'm in love. Let me know what you think. If you've stayed this long, thank you so much. I really appreciate you all. I really do. Do not forget to hit subscribe if you are still here. That means you've enjoyed it, so I would love to have you on board. Also, don't forget to leave me a comment. I am still 100% reply rate. Luckily for me, I don't get thousands of comments per videos because I'd never cope. But thank you. I appreciate you all so much. I need you to know that, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.